Hey, Shalom family, Most High Christ bless y'all. I'm Captain Zakai, IUIC Sacramento, and today's class is going to be called Fear, Uncertainty, and Doubt. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And today my reader is?
Soldier Sirach.
Yes, sir. So when we come into this truth, you know, a lot of times we're dealing with a lot of fear, right? And when I say fear, meaning you might be afraid to now wear your fringes out in public. You know, you're worried about how your family is accepting your new understanding on the Bible and your heritage and nationality and so on and so forth, right? And you have different doubts. Is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right? Is this just too good to be true? Things like that, right? So the point is in this class to bring out times in the scriptures where this happened to the Hall of Famers, right? To the prophets, right? They had fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? So it can be overcome, right? So those of you who go through that, because everybody who's ever picked up this Bible and this truth has had some level of fear, some level of uncertainty, and some level of doubt. And if you haven't, either you're lying or you ain't really in this, all right? So let's get started, all right? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65, all right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65.
Bring it out!
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
Right, so the Lord was talking about what he was going to scatter us all over into different countries. He said, within these nations, you're not going to find any ease. Come on.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
Come on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
What are you going to give us?
A trembling heart.
He's going to give us a trembling heart. That's that fear. Come on.
And a failing of eyes. And sorrow of mind.
And a sorrow of mind, right? That's when you start to doubt, damn, you know what I'm saying? That depression. I don't even want to say depression. I know some people do battle with depression, but not full-fledged depression, but you're saddened. That's what that sorrow of mind is. Go ahead, read on.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
And the life shall hang in doubt before thee, because you don't know whether you going or coming. You don't know what's happening. All right, come on.
And thou shalt fear day and night.
Damn.
And shall have none assurance of thy life.
And have none assurance of thy life. Come on.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even.
Right.
And at evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
Right. And this is when we were going to be scattered into all nations, that we were going to be what? Going through that, the fear of what? Damn, it was night, man. I wish it was morning. It's morning, man. I wish it was the evening. I wish it was the night. Just want this thing to hurry up and go by. Fear. All right. So let's get into it. Let's start with Matthew chapter 3. All right. Matthew chapter 3, y'all. All right. Hopefully y'all got your Bibles out. Hopefully y'all taking notes. All right. Take notes. All right, so Matthew chapter 3, we're going to be talking about John the Baptist. Okay, we're going to read those first two verses, and then we're going to jump. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out!
In those days came John the Baptist, preaching in the wilderness of Judea.
Come on.
And saying, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
All right, come on, jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance. But he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Come on.
He shall baptize you with the Holy with the Holy Ghost and with fire.
Right. So you got John the Baptist now doing what? Speaking of Christ, right? He was supposed to be what? The forerunner before Christ, right? Talking about repentance, right? Teaching about repentance because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Read on. Whose fan
is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner.
Right.
But he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire.
Right. What he's saying here is that Christ is going to take his and bring him to the kingdom. The other ones, he's going to put him to death. Read on.
Then cometh Jesus from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and comest thou to me?
Why are we reading this? Because we're trying to set the stage and make you understand who John really is. That Christ actually came to John and said, listen, baptize me. What did John say? What? I'm baptizing you. You need to be baptizing me. Come on.
And Jesus answered, said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness. then he suffered him.
Right. So he said to fulfill all righteousness, right? Because what? Everybody else was coming there and doing what? Getting baptized, right? Now, let's go to chapter 11. We staying on John, y'all. We staying on John. Why? Because we want to show a little bit of attributes of John. All right? Come on. We're going to start in verse 8 once you get there, bro.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 8. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses.
Right, so Christ is talking about John the Baptist right now, right? He said, what went you out to see? Somebody in soft clothing? The soft clothing is the ones up in kings' houses. He's talking about Herod and Rome and all of them. He's saying, no, this is not that man. Read on.
But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet.
He's saying John is more than a prophet. Read on.
For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee.
Right, come on.
Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
Y'all heard that? Amongst all people who's been born of women, nobody is greater than John the Baptist. Why are we bringing this out? Because we're setting the stage to show you that even as great as John was, he still had those moments of fear, uncertainty, doubt. All right, read on.
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
All right, so now let's jump to Mark 6. Mark chapter 6, y'all. All right, let me get there. Mark chapter 6, and we're going to start in verse 14. All right?
This is the book of Mark, chapter 6 and verse 14. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad. And he said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him.
Right. So, you know what? Matter of fact, before we get that, hold on one second. Wait. No, we good. Right. So now, he was with Herod. Okay, this got a little bit from where we started. Let me give y'all a background, right? Herod was hearing about Christ, right? But he's now thinking that what? John is Christ. It's going to clear itself up. I just want to give y'all the context of what we're reading. Come on.
Others said that it is Elias, and others said that it is a prophet or as one of the prophets.
Right, come on.
But when Herod heard thereof, he said, It is John, whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead.
Damn.
For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife.
Right. No, hold on. So he's thinking that he's hearing all the stuff about Christ. He knew that John the Baptist was out there, having people get baptized and all this and that. So now he's seeing what Jesus is doing. He's saying, wait a minute, this got to be John. At this moment, John was already dead. Herod had beheaded him, right? But now it's going to tell you why he was beheaded, right? But why am I bringing this out? I'm going to show y'all in a second. Read on.
For he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, It is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife.
Right. So John was stepping to Herod. Now Herod was the governor. He was the tetrarch, right? Over Israel, right? So John the Baptist said to him, it's not lawful for you to have your brother's wife, because he took his brother's wife. It's not that his brother died and he took his brother's wife and now he's laying with her. So he said, it's not good for you to have your brother's wife. So Herod was heated, right? Come on.
Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him and would have killed him, but she could not.
Right. Herodias was what? That was his brother's wife, right? Read on.
For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man.
Right. He feared him because he knew he was a just man, meaning that everybody else, if had he touched John, right, then everybody going to be on him because they know that John doesn't do anything wrong. That's what he's saying. Read on.
And unholy, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee, and when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, Ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee.
Right. So then after that, I'm going to jump because Herodias, what she did, she asked for John's head, right? Because she was greatly offended by what John said. But we're going to stop there. I want to show you the boldness of John, right? I'm showing you how bold John was. So now we know the level of John. Christ himself said that nobody born of a woman was like John. Now we seen the boldness of John. He's talking to, he didn't give a damn. He told Herod, man, you ain't supposed to be having this woman as your wife. This is the John spirit. I just want y'all to see how strong this man is. All right. Give me, now give me Matthew 3. We're going to go back there real quick. Go back to Matthew 3, y'all. All right, check this out. In verse 7.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 7. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
You see that? This is a bold brother right here. John the Baptist was no joke. So here come the Pharisees, the Sadducees. They started showing up to where he was baptizing. And he said, you generation of vipers, who told you that? That's like you just calling somebody a snake right now. You know what I'm saying? Somebody from your community, they walk up, you like, yo, y'all snake. You know what I mean? You snake ain't ninja. What the hell you doing over here? That's basically what he was saying, right? So showing you what? How strong he was. He did not give a damn. He was bold as a lion, like the scriptures say, right? We're going to stop there, right? Now, give me Luke 7. Now, let me show y'all this. Luke chapter 7, y'all. Luke chapter 7. We're going to start in verse 18.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 7 and verse 18.
Hold on 1 second. So now, remember, Herod had grabbed John the Baptist, put him in prison, right? At some point, he killed him. But now we're going back to when John was first apprehended. So he's in the prison right now. This is where we're picking up at. Come on.
And the disciples of John showed him of all these things.
What things? The things that Christ was doing, right? They started telling him, hey, he healed this one. This one was blind. He gave him back the sight, blah, blah, blah. He's telling them all this, right? Meanwhile, John is in prison. Read.
And John, calling unto him 2 of his disciples, sent them to Jesus, saying, Art thou he that should come, or should we look for another?
You heard that? Now John is asking, yo, disciple, go to his students, yo, go to Christ, ask him, is he the one, or is supposed to be another one to come? Why is he saying that? Because he's saying to himself, why am I in prison? Why am I here? He's starting to doubt if this is really the guy. Remember what we read in Matthew 3. I'm not worthy to unloose his his laces, his shoelaces, right? Oh, Christ, no, you have to baptize me. All that. He understood who he was then. But then when he got put into crunch time, when he got put in a crucial, critical moment, now he started to say, is this the guy? Because remember, get that thing in Acts chapter 1 real quick. Is that what I want? Or is it Luke 1? I always mess that up. No, it's Acts 1. 1 and 6, right? Yeah, get that real quick.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Go.
For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Ghost not many days hence.
I want 6. Go ahead.
Verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Right, so that's what John was looking for. John was looking for that big jump off. Like, yo, I thought is this the guy? Because why am I in a prison? Why people heads ain't rolling? He was looking to get something popping. Oh, that's why the disciples asked him, are you come to restore the kingdom to Israel? Because everybody knew that that's what Christ was dying for, or Christ was coming for, to restore the kingdom to Israel. But look, it wasn't that time. But the point is that John had what? He had doubt. He was uncertain, and he had fear. And what? He wound up getting put to death. You understand? So, yes, even the great ones is going to come over fear. So when you have these fears and doubts, that don't mean that this is not the right thing. That means that what? You got to suck it up and keep it moving, right? So now, let's go to 1 Kings. No, sorry. Give me Matthew chapter 17. Give me Matthew 17, y'all. Get there. We're going to start in verse 10. Come on.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 17 and verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must come first?
So the disciples said to Christ, why does what? the scribes say that Elijah must first come, right? Because they knew, remember, there was no New Testament at this time. They were still reading from Malachi. And Malachi was written in chapter 4 that what Elijah had to come, right? So they knew that. So they said, why does it say that Elijah has to first come? Read on.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things.
Elijah shall come and restore all things. Come on.
But I say unto you.
Hold on. So he's saying Elijah will come and restore all things, right? That's the time that we in now. Elijah had came again and restored all things. Again, we're not going to say who Elijah was, but he did come. Obviously, we now what? We know we Israel where we wasn't before. He shall restore all things. Go ahead.
That Elias is come already, and they knew him not.
Whoa. Read 12 again.
But I say unto you, that Elias is come already.
Now he's saying, but I'm going to say unto you. Remember, first he said, Elias shall come. Then he says, Elias has come already. Come on.
And they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them.
Right, come on.
Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
Right, so John the Baptist was Elijah in the spirit. Okay? So the Lord had what? Regenerated Elijah's spirit as John the Baptist. Right? So now let me show y'all something, right? We're going to go to when Elijah was actually on the earth as Elijah, right? So give me 1 Kings chapter 19. Let me show y'all this real quick, y'all. Let's go to 1 Kings. What I said, 19? Okay, let me get there. And 19, we're going to start at verse 13. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 13. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What doest thou here, Elijah?
Right, so Elijah was chilling in a cave, right? He went in a cave to do what? To hide. That's what he was doing, right? So now a voice came to him and said, what are you doing here, Elijah? Come on.
And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant,
right?
Thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
Right, he said, they seek my life to take it away. So Elijah had some fear. He went to get low. He said, listen, I got to get in this cave over here. I don't want nobody to find because they're going to put me to death. That's why earlier in the verse, he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord. Meaning what? When you read the history, Elijah was killing many of those false prophets. He had put 450 of them to death at one moment. When I say one moment, it was a course of time, but he put them to death, 450 people. All right? So Elijah wasn't playing, but even he had some fear. That's why he went in the cave. Come on, read on.
And the Lord said unto him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria.
Come on.
And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel.
Come on.
And Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abimaloha, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay. And him that escapeth the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay.
Right. So these people that's doing these slaying, these are priests. You know what I mean? This is not like, oh, you getting some gangster. No, these are the priests that's doing this. That's what I'm telling you. Elijah was a priest, right? The tribe of Levi putting them to damn death. All right. So these guys wasn't no joke at all, but yet there was some fear there. But watch what the Lord did. Go ahead.
Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him.
You see that? The Lord said, but listen, bruh, I know it seemed like you alone out here, right? And you hide in the cave, but I got 7,000 men. Now, that 7,000 is not an actual 7,000. It could be 15,325. We don't know. The number is a completion number, meaning I got a lot of other people out here that's doing what you're doing, Elijah. Just do what the hell I'm telling you to do and stop hiding. So you have to reassure him. Go ahead.
So he departed thence and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him. And he with the 12th, and Elijah passed by him. and cast his mantle upon him.
Right, he just put his mantle on him because remember the Lord said, get Elihu, I'm sorry, not Elihu, Elisha, and put him into your room, meaning he was going to rock with you and then eventually take over, right? So now, give me Luke 22. All right, we're going to take a look at something, y'all. We're going to take a nice little look at something here in Luke chapter 22, right? This is a excellent chapter, actually, y'all. I mean, everything in the Bible is great for learning, but sometimes you get to those chapters where so much things going on in it that you wind up missing things, and then when you keep reading over and over, and then you start finding out, like, damn, it's 10, 12, 15 different things that actually is happening at the same. This thing is beautiful right here. So now, in Luke 22, we're going to start in 35, and I'm going to go to 44. We're talking about Christ now. Right? Remember, we talking fear, uncertainty, doubt. Yes, Christ had that as well, right? You might say to yourself, what? That's impossible. He already knew what he came for. Don't have nothing to do with it. He had it. Why? Because what? He came in the flesh, right? So now, give me that thing. What did I say to start, 35? Come on.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 35.
I want you to pay close attention. Let's go.
And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lacked ye anything? And they said, nothing.
Right. Christ said now to the disciples, he said, whenever I sent y'all somewhere, right, without this, without that, did you ever lack anything? They said, no, never. Read.
Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So now the Lord is telling them to buy weapons, right? Now, a lot of people in the Christian church, even a lot of maybe some Israelites who y'all just starting to come in, y'all might not ever have seen that scripture before. Yes, Christ is now telling the disciples to go buy weapons. Why is he saying that? Read.
For I say unto you that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end.
Come on.
And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough.
Right. So they said, here, we got 2 swords right here. He said, that's good. That's good enough. Read on.
And he came out and went as he was wont to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples also followed him.
Come on.
And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Right. So he's telling them, pray that you don't enter into temptation, right? Say some prayers. He about to go do his thing, and he's talking to them as well, right? Go ahead.
And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast and kneeled down and prayed.
Come on.
Saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done.
You heard that? So he went to the Father and he said, Father, if it be possible, remove this cup from me. Remember, he knew that he was supposed to die for the people, but now that time was coming. So the fear was coming on, right? Even though he knew that once he did that, he would receive the kingdom and the earth would be his footstool, so on and so forth. Remember, when you read that in the book of Psalms, right? Still, when the time comes, when those crucial moments come, family, the critical times, that's when your fear and everything is going to come out. That's a natural thing. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all right now, don't feel no way you feeling fear, doubt. I wonder if this, no, even Christ himself went through this. Even he went through this. He's asking the Father to remove the cup. Can you not kill me? That's what he's saying. So I want to go back to what we read about the swords. So why did you think that he told them to get swords? Because he's thinking, hey, we may have a chance to fight and win. Yes, that's y'all. As we read down, it's sounding what? Read.
And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven,
Go ahead.
strengthening him.
Uh-huh.
And being in an agony,
Right.
he prayed more earnestly.
Right.
And his sweat was, as it were, great drops of blood falling down to the ground.
Come on.
And when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow.
Right. They were sleeping for sorrow, meaning they were sad. So they were just like, you know, when you're in that mode, you just wind up falling asleep. Right. But the point is that the angel, in 43, and there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him to tell him, let him know, no, this has to happen. boom, and whatever the angels did to strengthen him and get his spirit back up to par, right? So that's what we got to do. We strengthen ourselves with the scriptures. We strengthen ourselves with the brothers and sisters who are around, and our brothers, right? And they're going to hold us accountable, and they're going to minister unto us, right? In those hard times, they're going to come and be like, bro, hey, listen, they're going to pull out whatever scripture is needed for that particular situation, all right? That's the key, right? To become, what's the word I'm looking for? To become, I want to say expert, but to become, good with the scriptures, right? And get your spirit correct so you're able to help people out, right? And strengthen their spirit in times like these, because you're going to go through them. We've all been through them. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. This is what Christ was going through at that very moment, right? So now we're going to get back to that in a second. Give me John chapter 18. We're still on the same subject. We're just going to go to where John was talking about it, right? John 18. Watch this, y'all. John 18, and we're going to start in verse 2. We're going to read down.
This is the book of John, chapter 18 and verse 2. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Jesus oftentimes resorted thither with his disciples.
Right. So where they were up in the garden, Judas knew about it because he would be there with them sometimes as well. Right. So remember, Judas had went to the chief priest and all that and said, how much would you give me, you know what I'm saying, if I bring Christ to you, if I deliver him? They said, yo, we're going to give you 30 pieces of silver. He said, all right, cool. So now this is him going to do what? The best chance for him, because it tells you in another scripture that from that point forward, he was waiting for a time to betray Christ, the best time possible. So this time when he betrayed Christ, was trying to set him up. But the time never presented itself. But now the time has presented itself. Why? Because he knew, damn, he must be up there, maybe a couple brothers with him. It ain't going to be that crazy, right? And that's what he did. All right, so read on.
Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons.
And weapons, come on.
Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, whom seek ye?
Right.
They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground.
Right. So Christ already had that power. So as soon as he said, boom, they fell backwards. Why am I bringing this up? Because when he asked them to buy some swords, right, it was for them to get ready for what? This time that was going to come. He knew that he was going to go pray to the Father, and it was a possibility that maybe the Father wouldn't let him die. But those men were still coming, so if they were to come, he was going to put them down. He was going to have to put them down, and they was going to get to work. You understand? It's just like when you look at it from Abraham and Isaac. The Lord stopped Abraham from killing Isaac, right? So it's a possibility that maybe he might be able to get through this, right? But no, that wasn't the plan, right? The Father had to allow that to come. I'm just showing you how through your fear, uncertainty, and doubt, even when you believe that you know everything, that's still going to come out, right? Christ is still the Lord. He's still king. But in this flesh, we're going to feel that, all right? That's why he, boom, threw him down. Go ahead.
Then asked he them again, whom seek ye? And they said.
Right, on some gangster. He threw him to the ground and said, who y'all looking for again? Go ahead.
And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore you seek me, let these go their way.
Right. So now what? Because that whole throwing them down was just for them to understand he got a little power. He could touch them if he want. But now he's saying he's saving his people. Yo, if you want me, take me, but don't take them. They said, all right, read on.
That the saying might be fulfilled, which he spake of them which thou gavest me, have I lost none.
Come on.
Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus.
Now you understand why Peter cut his ear off. Now you understand, because he was already turned up from when Christ told him, sell your stuff and buy a sword. But he already had the swords. But they knowing like, yo, we're going to have to get to work. That's why he did it. It wasn't like Peter was just like some rebellious guy. He was already on turn-up time. Like, we gotta take care of Christ right now. We got to take care of our teacher, our leader.
That's right.
of the Messiah. They knew it. That's why that air came right off. He had no problems and no qualms. Go ahead, read on.
Then said Jesus unto Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it?
Right. So Christ came out and said, hey, this is what my Father wants to happen. Shall it not happen? Meaning, hey, put your sword up. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Let me do what I got to do. This is what it is, right? But I'm just showing y'all, when we read the scriptures again, understanding now the emotion that Christ was in at the time, the emotion that Peter even was in at the time. Because remember, it's all fear that's going on here. Fear, uncertainty, doubt, and all of what we're reading, right? That what? We ought to look on this and be able to apply it to our lives, to be able to what? Endure these temptations, these times of temptations. Remember what he spoke to Peter about and the disciples that were there, right? And I think the sons of thunder was with him. He said, pray that you endure, that you don't fall into temptation, right? So we all got to do the same thing, because sometimes through fear, you're going to wind up sinning. You're going to run. You're going to get away, let your peoples get killed, or whatever you might do, or just leave the truth, okay? Because that's really what it boils down to, right? So now, let's do Hebrews chapter 4, all right? Hebrews chapter 4. Because some of y'all is hearing this and saying, yo, this guy's out of order. You sounding crazy right now. But no, not at all. Not at all. Hebrews 4, and I think we start at 14. Hold on, let me just get there, make sure I'm looking at it. Yeah, yes, sir. Come on.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 14. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession.
Let us hold fast our profession. Come on.
For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities.
Right. The feeling of our infirmities is what? That fear, uncertainty, doubt. He went through it, right? That's why it says we don't have a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, because he came in the flesh. That's why he came of Joseph and Mary, so he could what? Be that example to us. Read.
But was in all points tempted like as we are.
Right.
Yet without sin.
Right. So he was in all points tempted, right? Because what y'all don't understand, he was praying to the Father, right? That the Father take away this cup. But if he really wanted to go against the Father's words right there and just not get put to death, that's exactly what would have happened. He had the power to kill all those men right there and walk away. That's what you got to understand. So Christ had to even keep that commandment. That's a commandment given to him. So he had to accept it. And what? Read that part again.
For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities.
Just the one.
But was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
Right. So that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, he was tempted with that. To do what? Get away from it. Do something about it. Right? But what? He did not sin. Because had he not allowed himself to be put to death, that would have been a sin. Christ would have sinned because he had a commandment from God that was strictly for him. All right? So now, read that last verse.
Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
All praises. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1. And we're going to read verses 1 and 2.
This is the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. Love righteousness, that ye be judges of the earth.
Come on.
Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him.
Come on.
For he will be found of them that tempt him not.
Come on.
And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him.
That's what I want. And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. Because this is a faith thing, right? He's going to be showing himself to you when you do not distrust him. When you got that faith, when you have the lack of faith, that's when the fear comes. That's happened to me in my walk, right? You have a lack of faith for whatever. It could be anything, just for a moment. And you notice that there's a problem there. And it's all because you haven't overcome that fear of whatever that fear is. Once you overcome that and you walk in faith, it becomes a lot more simpler. Things happen. Right? So that's what that's dealing with, right? He is found and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him, right? So when you have no faith, that means you don't trust the Lord, right? You don't trust the Lord. All right, so now give me Sirach chapter 2. All right. Sirach chapter 2, and I want to start at verse 12. Come on.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe be to the fearful hearts.
Right. Woe be to fearful hearts, those fearful minds. Right? You're just tricking yourself out of here. Oh, I'm saying, I wonder if this is going to happen. Woe be to fearful hearts. Come on.
And faint hands.
Damn, and faint hands. You ain't doing the damn thing. Come on.
And the sinner that goeth two ways.
Come on.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted.
Uh-huh.
For he believeth not.
For he believeth not. Exactly. No faith. You don't really believe in the Lord. That's what this is showing you. You might be fringed up, coming to the school, doing this and that, but when the time comes, you're faint-hearted because you really don't believe. Come on.
Therefore shall he not be defended.
That's heavy stuff right there, y'all. That means it's the Lord said you will not be defended. In that time that you think you're going to escape, that's when the Lord won't help you. And in your escape, that's when you're going to get knocked off. Trying to get away from the Lord because the circumstance is too heavy. Oh, I can't take this, too much for me, and I'm out of here. I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen brothers come in and tell us, oh, you know, I heard that the feds have this is real talk, that the feds have some people in the congregation, and they're sweating. The dude's sweating. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I just want to let you know. I said, okay, yeah, we know about that already. Okay. I'm like, you good? Yeah.
The hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. And then he came in. That was the last day we saw him. The man never came back. Scared to death. You just can't be that scared. You cannot be that scared. What are you worried about? There's nothing going on in here. Why are you so worried that the feds is in here? So what? You know what I mean? Only thing the feds going to do is repent and keep the commandments of God. That's all they going to do.
That's right.
So what the hell you concerned about? But that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. He will not be defended. If that, I don't know if he repented or not. He ain't never come back to this school, but he will not be defended by the Lord because he was too afraid. You understand? So now, give me the book of Judges. All right? Bring it up. Let's go. We got some more for y'all. Don't be afraid to come into this truth and embrace your heritage and your nationality and keep the commandments of the Lord. Don't create excuses for yourself to not come and deal with the Lord firsthand. You know what I mean?
You better shut your mouth.
Man, listen. Okay, Judges. Well, I said chapter 7. Okay, 7. What I want. Yeah, starting verse 1. We're going to go 1 through 3. Watch this, y'all.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 7, verse 1. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Harod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them by the hill of Marah in the valley. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand hath saved me.
Right, so the Lord don't like all that, right? So Israel was about to get it in with the Midianites, right? The Lord said, y'all got a lot of men. You know what I'm saying? If I let you win this battle, then Israel going to think it's all about them. So I need some of these men gone. I need this team a little bit smaller, right? Go ahead.
Now, therefore, go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid.
Whosoever is scared to damn death, right, and afraid, come on.
Let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000.
So there was 32,000 men out there ready to battle. When Gideon said, hey, who is scared to death and shook, scared to look, 22,000 men left. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Now,
the hell is this?
Right, and left only 10,000 behind, right? But the point is that what? Those 22,000 left, they were scared, but guess what? They still got opportunity to repent. It's not that they not getting the kingdom. It's just that they were fearful. And the Lord said, you know what? The fearful, just let them go back and chill. You know what I mean? So a lot of y'all brothers and sisters who's dealing with that spirit, right, that fear spirit, that don't mean you ain't got a chance. You have to overcome. So come on in. We're going to help you overcome, all right? This way we can be with you and strengthen your spirit. Like when Christ was afraid and the Lord sent that angel and it strengthened him, right? That's what we're going to do for you, all right? So now, let's jump. Let's go to the book of Nehemiah. That's all I wanted out of that, just to show y'all. It's fearful. It's fear going on all through these scriptures. We have to be able to, like it says in Romans, things written aforetime is for our learning. All right? So we got to learn from this and build. All right? Give me Nehemiah. I want chapter 6. All right? Nehemiah chapter 6. And we're going to start in verse 1. All right? We're going to read a few verses, y'all. All right? So clean out your eyes and all that. Come on.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6 and verse 1. Now it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem the Arabian and the rest of our enemies heard that I had builded the wall and that there was no breach left therein, though at that time I had not set up the doors upon the gates.
Right. Hold on. So now, right, this is Nehemiah. He's saying what? They heard that what? Remember, they were building the wall, right? They were building back Jerusalem, all right, getting it ready. So now all the walls were put up, no breaches whatsoever, but there were no doors. Okay, this is what Nehemiah is saying. Go ahead, read.
That Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief.
Right, they wanted to do a mischief when they got him out there. It was a setup, lining them up. Hey, meet us out in Ono. You know what I mean? We got to talk to you about something. He was like, man, y'all trying to line me up, man. You know, read on.
And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work.
Yeah, I'm busy over here. Go ahead.
So that I cannot come down.
I don't got time for your foolishness. Read.
Why should the work cease whilst I leave it and come down to you?
Right.
Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same manner.
So 4 times they went after him. Hey, bro, come see us in Ono. We got to holler at you. He's like, listen, I'm doing a lot of things out here. I got things going on. I got no time to come down and talk to y'all silly dudes. Read on.
Then sent Sanballat his servant unto me in like manner the 5th time with an open letter in his hand.
Right, so this time he sends a letter. Come on.
Wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and Gashmu saith it, that thou and the Jews think to rebel.
Right. So now he's saying, listen, bro, we wanted you to come down and talk to you because it's going on amongst the Gentiles and all that y'all are building up this wall so y'all can rebel. And then y'all have a place to fight from. This is what he's saying. Come on.
For which cause thou buildest the wall, that thou mayest be their king according to these words.
Right. So they were saying that he was trying to set himself up. I'm sorry. That he was trying to set himself up to be the king. Go ahead.
And thou hast also appointed prophets to preach of thee at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah.
Right.
And now shall it be reported to the king according to these words. Come now, therefore, and let us take counsel together.
Right. Come on.
Then I sent unto him, saying, There are no such things done as thou sayest, but thou feignest them out of thine own heart.
Right. He said, thou feignest them, meaning these are lies. You just making it up as you go along. That's what he's saying, right? So now let me show you something, right? What are they trying to do? They're trying to put fear in this man's heart, right? That's what we used to call it back in the day. So you can't put no fear in my heart, son. You know what I mean? You can't put no fear in my heart because you know the person is trying to set the stage for you to not do what you got to do. Yo, son, I don't know if you want to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes said they looking for you over there. You like, what? They looking for me? Why are they looking for me? I know, but I got you, though. But if you go over there, you can't go over there either because what's the name of them said, you know what I mean? What you think? You like, what? Hold up. So you got to roll with me. But you know this dude don't like you. You're like, wait, this is a setup.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So this is what we talking about, right? So this is what's happening here. Read on.
For they all made us afraid.
See that? For they all made us afraid. Come on.
Saying, their hands shall be weakened from the work, that it be not done. Now, therefore, O God, strengthen my hands.
Right. So he's saying now that they're making his whole team. They're making the whole team afraid. They're making the people afraid to do what? And now they're not even going to finish the building of the walls and building up the doors. Why? Because they now think that what? The king is thinking that they're trying to have a little kingdom within his kingdom. Like they're trying to fight him. So now they're like, no, we ain't trying to do that. So we just going to fall back and do nothing. That was the point of this, right? But read on.
Afterward, I came into the house of Shemaiah, the son of Deliah, the son of Medabel, who was shut up. And he said, Let us meet together in the house of God within the temple. and let us shut up the doors of the temple, for they will come to slay thee. Yea, in the night will they come to slay thee.
Come on.
And I said, should such a man as I flee?
He said, what? They coming to kill who? Should me? I'm supposed to flee? Come on.
And who is there that being as I am would go into the temple to save his life?
Right.
I will not go in.
I'm not going in there. He's saying, I'm not shutting myself up and locking down nothing because I'm worried about these dudes coming through. We're going to get it in. Remember, when Nehemiah and them was building the walls, right, what they was doing, they had a brick in one hand and they had a sword in the other. They was ready for war because the other nations were already trying to stop them from the time they was even talking about rebuilding. All right, so this was nothing new, right? When y'all read into the coming chapters, y'all know Nehemiah was putting hands on people. He didn't give a damn, right? Nehemiah was the dude, right? Come on.
That's right.
And lo, I perceived that God had not sent him, but that he pronounced this prophecy against me, for Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him.
Right, they pronounced that prophecy. That ain't nothing from the Lord. That's some old BS they came up with. Go ahead. That's why he said he feigned it out of his own mind. Read 13.
Therefore was he hired that I should be afraid.
That I should be what?
Afraid.
Right, that I should be afraid. Hell no. Come on.
The hell is this?
And do so and sin.
Oh, I love it. And no, don't go nowhere, bruh. Read that right there again, that last part. Go ahead.
And do so.
No, right before that.
I should be afraid. And do so and sin.
Right. That what? That he should hold up in the spot, stop working, and rebuilding Jerusalem and what? And sin. Because that was going to be a sin to do what? To succumb to what? His own fears. That's a sin, y'all. That's why we got to get over it. See, this is one brother here that we reading about that he didn't fall to the fear. No, hell no. What? I'm a sin? Read that again. Read 13 again. 13, that's crazy.
Therefore was he hired that I should be afraid. And do so.
Come on.
And sin.
Damn.
And that they might have matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me.
Oh man, y'all see that? We gotta stay in the faith, y'all. This man had faith. That's why he said this is not God prophecy. This day prophecy. They just made something up, right? That's how we gotta think. We gotta stay focused on the goal at hand. All praises to the Father.
That's right.
I love reading that. Give me 2 Timothy chapter 1. Give me 2 Timothy chapter 1. Verse 7. We read this many times. We got to read it again. Oh, before we move on, hey, post that thing that I sent y'all before about the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Look at this. This is exactly what happened with Nehemiah just now. Can you see it, bro? Yeah, I can see it. Okay, you want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay. It says fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD, right? That's the name of this class. Is a manipulative propaganda tactic used in sales, marketing, public relations, politics, polling, and cults. FUD or FUD is generally a strategy to influence perception by disseminating negative and dubious or false information, and is a manifestation of the appeal to fear. So this is what Sanballat and them was trying to do. They were trying to use this as a manipulation tactic, right? So that for that particular situation, that's actually a thing. FUD, a tactic, right? Now, the other parts, that wasn't tactics. That was real fearful situations, and brothers was in critical moments in their lives. But this was a critical moment, but it was also what? A manipulation tactic. So I want y'all to understand that even in our personal lives today, people will do that to manipulate you. They're going to throw fearful tactics. You gotta look past that. You got to get past that. All right, give me 2 Timothy 1 and 7. Read that thing.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7.
Come on.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear.
When y'all see fear, y'all have to know that the devil is on you, period. See, a lot of times when we say, oh, man, the devil on you, thinking the person acting crazy, like, yeah, man, I wanted to. No, not always. Sometimes you being afraid, deathly afraid, you're not making moves, you're scared. Oh, I don't want this and that. No, that's the devil. Read.
But of power.
Of power, come on.
And of love.
Come on.
And of a sound mind.
A sound mind. A sound mind. Give me Luke chapter 1. Give me Luke chapter 1. Let me see where I want to start. Okay, start in Okay, start on 68.
This is a book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people.
Come on.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
Let's go.
And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies.
We should be saved from our enemies. Come on.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
Come on.
To perform the mercies promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant.
And to remember his holy covenant with what? With the nation of Israel, right? Come on.
The oath which he sware to our father Abraham.
Come on.
That he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear.
Might serve him without fear. Okay? Because when we running around out here, sometimes we serving the Lord without fear. A lot of y'all got professional jobs, so y'all work corporate, right? Sometimes you're not able to walk around with your fringes on. You can't, right? So what? Sometimes you don't wear them at all, but you could just be smart. Just tuck them in. Do what you got to do, right? Because you don't want to get fired, right? But don't be scared. Oh, my God, you know what? I'm not going to go to the school. They might see me. Yeah, they will see you. They might see you, right? They saw me. I was there. I was in many videos. I'm out in the street, and I'm working corporate, and I'll get back in the office. They be like, yo, man, I didn't know you was Israelite. I'll be like, shh, 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 shh. I'm like, yo, bro, be easy. You know what I mean? Then I start feeling nervous. At the time, I'm running my mouth, yeah, yo, this and that. And the Lord said, I get to work. Yo, bro, I seen you in the corner. Yo, whoa, 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 shh. It happens. It happens, y'all. All right? But we can't let that stop us. We can't let it stop us. Either, guess what? If y'all that scared, then start a business and work for yourself or something. So this way you ain't nobody on your back, right? But understand. But that's for the brothers who's out there teaching. You sisters, what the hell you worried about? You know what I mean? And some of you brothers, you're not able to be outside. Don't worry about it. Just what? Don't have that fear. But it is a real thing because we're reading about it here. Read that again in 74.
That he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear.
Come on.
In holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's go to John chapter 20. All right. We're going to John 20. There's some good little pieces in John 20, but we're gonna focus on something real quick. John 20, where we at? You know what? Let's start. Okay, let's start in verse 1. Let's start at verse 1 and then we're gonna jump, right? But just gonna read down some. All right, y'all. So now let me give you the context, right? Christ has been he was crucified, he was buried. Right, so now it's that third day, and Mary Magdalene is going over to the gravesite to do what? To anoint his body. All right, come on.
This is the book of John, chapter 20 and verse 1. The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene, early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre. Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and saith unto them, They have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him. Peter therefore went forth, and that other disciple, and came to the sepulchre.
Come on.
So they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter, and came first to the sepulchre. And he, stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in.
Right. So now they went to the sepulchre, right, and they looked. And they didn't see Christ in there. They just saw the linen clothes lying there. Come on.
Then cometh Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeing the linen clothes lie, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself.
Right. So that napkin that went over his head, right? That's that same what they call that? The veil of the shroud of what is it? Listen, they lying like hell. The shroud of Turin. And then when you pull off, you see, it has Caesar's face on it. Don't believe none of this garbage, right? The only reason you believe something like that is because you have fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All right, that's not in the Bible. As you can see right here, what? They had the napkin and it was away from everything else, right? It have nothing about the imprint of his face being in it. All right, go ahead, read.
Then went in also that other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
Right.
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home. But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth two angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet where the body of Jesus had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him.
Is that Mary's voice? I mean, that's Mary's voice? Yo. Read it again.
And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him.
All right.
And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Jesus standing, and knew not that it was Jesus.
Right.
Jesus saith unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? She, supposing him to be the gardener, saith unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away.
Right. So now she didn't know it was Jesus because he didn't come back as himself. He wasn't looking like he was before. Right. So that's how come she didn't know him. She thought he was the gardener. Right. Read on.
Jesus saith unto her, Mary. She turned herself and saith unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master. Jesus saith unto her, Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God.
Yeah. You see that? I'm ascending to my Father, your Father, my God, and your God. Right? Now, I just wanted to show y'all that part, to show you that now Mary is now literally knowing that this is Jesus. Now we're going to jump. Right? Now let's jump to 24.
Verse 24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came.
Mm-hmm.
The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe.
So Thomas said, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. I ain't believing nothing until I see it. Right? Come on.
And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you.
Shalom. Go ahead.
Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands. And reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side. And be not faithless, but believing.
You see that? He said, be not faithless. Right? Because when you have that doubt, that fear, that uncertainty, that's when your faith is waning. That's what we got to fight through. We have to fight through those things, family. We have to fight through them. It's our faith. That's where the fear and everything is coming from. Read on.
And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
Right. So he told him, he cut him a little bit. He said, bro, you seeing me, so you believe now, but blessed are they that have not seen me but believed. That doesn't mean Thomas is not making it to the kingdom. He just getting him a little bit. Tell him to get his faith up. That's why he told him, don't be faithless, bro. This is me. All right, so that's how we got to, when we read these things, we got to apply it to our lives. All right, the Lord is still with us, but we're going through a thing. We're in the flesh. You're going to have those moments. You cannot succumb to them. Don't succumb to them, family. All right, let me get the book of Judges. We're going back to Judges. All right. The book of Judges, we're going to start in chapter 4. Yes. Okay, we're going to read 1 through 5.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 4 and verse 1. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel.
Come on.
And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time.
Whoa. Now, you might say to yourself, wait, a woman was judging Israel? That's what it says, right? Read on.
And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel and Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment.
So they were actually going to her for judgment. All right. So Deborah was running something over here. She was judging matters. She was a judge in Israel. So you might want to understand and ask yourself, why is there a book of Judges? Why it's actually called the book of Judges, right? But let me show you what was going on at that time. Give me chapter 17 in Judges. Stay right in Judges. Right? We could just use this particular chapter, but it's written in about 3 or 4 of the chapters of Judges. But I just want to show y'all this real quick. And read verse 6.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 17 and verse 6. In those days, there was no king in Israel. But every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
Right. Everybody was doing right, was doing what was right in their own eyes. So this wasn't our natural setup, but it was just going on. There was no king. All right. So this is what was happening. All right. They was just doing them. When you read the book of Judges, you got Samson, right? Samson was off the chain, right? He ain't never want to have no woman of Israel. That was breaking the commandments. So it was a lot of breaking of the commandments going on in Judges. It was a loose time, a very, very loose time. All right, so let's go back to Judges. Just giving y'all an understanding. All right, go back to Judges chapter 4. We're going to start in verse 6. Pick up there.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 4 and verse 6. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinadab, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun? And I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand.
Right. So now Deborah is what? She's speaking to Barak, right? And she's telling Barak what to do. Boom, this is what we're going to do, so on and so forth. Read.
And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
So Barak was scared to death. He had fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? Because he's asking her, if you roll with me, Deborah, then I'm going to go. This is crazy. All right, watch this.
And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor.
Wow. She said, but you know what? This journey that you're taking, it's not going to be for your honor. Why? Because you got a woman running it. Read.
For the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman.
Man, go ahead.
And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh.
Go ahead.
And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh. And he went up with 10,000 men at his feet. And Deborah went up with him.
Right, so he went up with 10,000 men. She did go. Watch this, though. Come on.
Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself from the Kenites and pitched his tent into the plain of Zebulun, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinadab, was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Harosheth of the Gentiles unto the river Kishon. And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is a day in which the Lord hath delivered Sisera into thine hand.
You see that? This is the day that the Lord will deliver Sisera into your hand, Barak. Because what? She took the time. She knew, even though she was a judge in Israel, she still understood the order. And what? She basically put a backbone back in him. All right? She gave him back his manhood. Because she said, hey, the Lord is going to now deliver Sisera and the Midianites into your hand. Go ahead.
Is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him.
All right, so I just wanted, that's another one of fear being there, but then what? He had to get strengthened up, all right? And then he went on and did what he had to do. All right, so now, So Matthew chapter 14 and verse 22. Come on.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 14 and verse 22. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was not there alone.
He was there alone.
He was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them walking on the sea.
All right. So check this out, y'all. So now this is when you get the famous Christ walked on water, or Jesus walked on water, right? So now Jesus was walking on the sea to the disciples. Watch this.
And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It is a spirit." And they cried out for fear.
They were scared to death. They didn't know that was him right away. Come on.
But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid."
Come on.
And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water."
Right. He said, give me that power. I want to walk on the water right now and meet you. Come on.
And he said, "Come." And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus.
Right. So come on. So he was actually doing it. Peter stepped out and was walking on the water. Come on.
But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid.
Uh-huh.
And beginning to sink, he cried, saying, "Lord, save me."
So he started sinking right away because the wind got windier. Things got crazy. He was like, he got nervous and he started to sink in the water. So he cried out to the Lord, "Save me." Go ahead.
And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him,
right,
and said unto him, "O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt?"
Y'all see that? Thou of little faith, why did you doubt? That be our problem. Our faith. We got to build our faith up. That's where we're going to get out of that doubt. You are going to get to the point where you're going to have very little doubt at sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But it's not going to be like it was in the beginning, right? So you got to what? Continue to build your faith. Pray. Pray for that thing. All right? Was that it? Yeah, I think that was it on that. That was it on that. All right, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 27. Y'all bear with us. All right, we got a few more for y'all. A few more. All right, 27 and 14.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 14. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage.
Be of good courage, right? You're going to wait on the Lord, being what? You're going to be patient. You're going to have faith. And what? You're going to be of good. That's showing courage. Come on.
And he shall strengthen thine heart.
He's going to strengthen your mind. Come on.
Wait, I say, on the Lord.
All right. I want to just read that out real quick. Go to Revelation 21 and 8. Revelation 21 and 8. It's a rough one. This one right here, I don't know. Read.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving.
But the fearful and the unbelieving, come on.
And the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.
So now the Lord is saying that if you fearful, you're going to have your part with adulterers, right, in the lake of fire. This is what fear will get you, all right? That's why Nehemiah said that I should be afraid and I would sin, right? Because fear is going to make you not keep the commandments of the Lord. Not the fear of God, but the fear of what? Of other things. Just being fearful, being doubtful, being faithless, all right? Go ahead. That's it on that, bro. I just want to touch that real quick. Get John 19. All right? And I know we were talking a little bit about being in the workplace and stuff like that, right? So let me show y'all something real quick. John 19 and verse 38.
This is the book of John, chapter 19 and verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
And after this, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Jesus, but secretly for fear of the Jews.
Okay, watch that. Hold on. It says, and after this, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, right? Secretly. Meaning what? He wasn't out there with the disciples moving around and all of that. No. And y'all going to see why he was moving like that, right? For fear of the Jews. We're going to get into that in a minute. Go ahead.
Besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus. And Pilate gave him leave. He came, therefore, and took the body of Jesus.
Right. So Joseph of Arimathea was a big man out there, right? That's just like any one of us that might be having a job in a major municipality or something, and we real good with the governor or the mayor or something like that. But you're not in there like, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm from the tribe of Judah, I'm this and that. No, you're not doing that. You're quiet because you know that that's going to come off crazy in that scenario that you're in, right? So what you're doing is you're being wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You're being smart about it, right? Because there might be a time you needed to help your people, like right here. Right? He was able to go to Pilate. How many of them could have went to Pilate straight up like, listen, I need Christ. But okay, yeah, go ahead, bro. Right? That's because he was moving smart. Right? I want to give you a little bit more on that. Give me Matthew 27. Right? What we doing? We just talking about how it is. Like I'm likening Joseph of Arimathea to like a corporate guy. That's really what I'm doing. Right? So those of you out there who are in these kind of jobs and professions or whatever, and you're nervous, listen, don't let that fear go away. All right. You have an example on how this man was moving. All right. 27 and 57.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 57. When the evening was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple.
Come on.
He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered.
Right. Why am I showing you that? Because first it said that he went to Pilate. I forgot that Joseph of Arimathea. I forgot how they phrased him in the when we just read it. No, they're calling him rich now. Before in John, that was not how they said it. Hold on, I want to quote that. 19 and 38. Right, and after this, Joseph, being a disciple of Jesus, secretly for fear of the Jews, right? That's how they started there in John. Now in Matthew, it's letting you know that he was rich, right? But I want y'all to see something else. Mark 15, watch this. He's a disciple secretly, fear because he had fear of the Jews. We're going to get into that fear of the Jews thing, right? And what? He was rich. Now we're going to read in Mark, what did I say, 15 and 43. Watch this, y'all.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 15 and verse 43. Mm-hmm. Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate and craved the body of Jesus.
Right, that's what I wanted, right? Because it said that that he was an honorable counselor, right? Now, let us go to Matthew 10. All right? Watch this. I've been quoting this a couple times already, so we're about to read it right now. Matthew 10. All right? And start in, I got 16. So let's start in 16.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves.
Come on.
Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
That's how Joseph of Arimathea was rolling. All right, and many other of the Israelites, that's how they was rolling. They was being wise as serpents and harmless as doves. They wasn't out there really teaching it like how the disciples was going hard. No, they wasn't doing that. They had a different, how can I say, station, right? But watch this part. Remember when they said that Joseph was what? For fear of the Jews. I'm going to show you what that fear was. Go ahead, read the next verse.
But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues.
You see that? They will scourge you in their synagogues, right? This is what he was concerned about. Come on.
And ye shall be brought before governors
Come on.
and kings for my sake.
For my sake, because you're a disciple of mine, because you're living like me, because you're teaching what I taught you. Read.
For a testimony against them and the Gentiles.
Right. So that's why he had to keep it on the low. He had to keep it, what do they call it now? Low key. Right? So now, right? So now if you want to talk about fear, because it said fear of the Jews, what? He had to walk with what? And he had to be circumspect. He had to pay attention. So all of you out there, if you got those fears, then just walk, just be what? Harmless as a serpent. I'm sorry, wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. That should help you. Again, these are examples that we have in these scriptures, and we got to follow them. It helps us, right?
That's right.
So now, give me Luke 22. We're going back to Luke 22. Going back to Luke 22. We almost done, y'all. We almost done. Luke 22, and let's start in verse 31. We're going to talk about Peter again.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
Right. So now Christ is talking to Peter. This is all around that same thing with the buying of the sword and all that. This is right before that conversation took place, right? And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Come on.
But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not.
You see that? Christ said, I have prayed for you that your faith fail not. What? During these times. Because what? It's going to be fearful of things that's going to happen to you, Peter. Because really Satan is coming after you. And a lot of y'all brothers and sisters, y'all may not have felt that yet. When y'all come into the truth, y'all going to see certain things going to be going on. It's not going to be no cakewalk like that for a lot of y'all. Some of y'all is going to be easier than others. But Satan is going to come and he's going to start knocking on that door and testing that spirit. Come on.
And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
You heard that? When you are converted, after you go through this trial, then you're going to be able to strengthen your brethren when they go through the trial. This is what he's saying. Come on.
And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee both into prison and to death.
Right. So now, Peter, Lord, I'm telling you, I'm ready for whatever. Prison, death, however it got to go down. Right? That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
And he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day before thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me.
Right. So he said, yo, Peter, that sound good and all that, but guess what? This day will not end before you deny me 3 times that you even know me. Right? He told him straight up. Peter like, man, that's impossible. Right? Now let's go to Matthew 26. Remember, he ready to die, all of that. I'm ready to die, go to prison, whatever. Right? Matthew 26 and verse 57.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 57. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled.
Now remember, this is after they bagged him up, right, from the garden. Come on.
But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in, and sat with the servants to see the end.
So he wanted to see what was going to happen with Christ. Remember, the Lord asked that Peter would be left alone, so they didn't take Peter, right? So now Peter's following. Go ahead.
Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death.
Come on.
But found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none.
Mm-hmm.
At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God, and to build it in 3 days.
Right, come on.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which thou witness against thee?
Right, so they saying you ain't got nothing to say for yourself? What these witnesses are saying about you? Read.
But Jesus held his peace.
He ain't saying nothing. Come on.
And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be Christ, the Son of God.
Right, so he said, you better let us know if you were the Son of God. Come on.
Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said.
He said, you said it.
Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven.
Come on.
Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy.
Come on.
What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death.
Right, so now Peter's watching this whole thing go down. And they said he is guilty of death. So they passing the death penalty on Christ right here. That's what we're reading. Come on.
Then did they spit in his face.
They spit in his face.
And buffeted him.
Uh-huh.
And others smote him with the palms of their hands.
So they were slapping him up and all that right there. Remember, Peter's watching everything. But remember, Peter's a ride or die. I'm ready to die, go to prison, whatever. Read.
Saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ. Who is he that smote thee?
Yeah, they said, since you know everything, who smacked you? Because all of them were smacking him. They said, which one of them hands came from who? Was that Zebediah's hands? Was that John's hand? You know what I'm saying? They bringing up, they talking crazy to Christ. Come on.
Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee.
So they saw Peter. They was like, yo, you was with that dude, Jesus. Go ahead.
But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth.
So another sister saw him. She said, wait a minute, ain't you the dude to be moving with Jesus? Go ahead.
And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man.
He said with an oath. That man said it with an oath. Remember before, he was ready to ride or die. Now he's like, what? Listen, on everything I love, I don't know who that is. He started talking crazy. See, this is what happens with the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt. But guess what? He wasn't uncertain in what would happen if he knew for a fact Christ was getting smacked up and what he was sentenced to death. He's seeing this right in front of his eyes. So now he's saying to himself, whoa, let me back up. Read.
And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee.
I like that. It says your speech betrayeth you, because they were talking in a certain type of way, right? It's just like here at IUIC, the way we teach, most people would know they got to be from Israel United. Most times they're going to say that, depending on, you know what I'm saying, on who. Because you got Bishop Nathaniel, right? Generally, we have the way we were taught, we pattern ourselves after Bishop in different styles, obviously, right? Everybody don't teach the same, but you could tell by what's being said that it's coming out from this man here through the Spirit of Christ. All praises. Come on.
That's right.
Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man.
Damn.
And immediately the cock crew.
And he's still cursing it. What I told y'all niggas, I don't know him. This is what was going on. And then what? And then immediately the cock crew. Come on.
And Peter remembered the words of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly.
He went out and wept bitterly. And the one in Luke, I really like that one, because it says that when he denied him 3 times, him and Christ caught eyes. That's crazy. Christ just looked back and, bro, I told you. All right, so these are the things that we got to learn from this. So don't say, oh, man, if it was me, I would have been this and that. Now, you don't know what you're going to do during them times, right? But we got to be able to what? Fight through the fear, the uncertainty, the death. And we know that Peter got through this, you understand, because he did many great things after this, right? So now, give me Matthew. Just jump to the first 41. Jump to 41. Yep, stay right there.
Verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right. Our spirit is willing, but our flesh is weak. That's why we get fearful. It's not because your spirit. If we was just in spirit mode, we'd be doing everything the Lord said. But we got to fight against this flesh. All right. It's sinful. All right. That's why the Lord said what? That what? The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Give me Galatians chapter 5 and verse 17. Just a couple more, y'all. Go ahead.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
You see that? Because your flesh lusteth against your spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, one contrary to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would, right? Because that's what Christ said. This flesh, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh, you know what I'm saying, is the problem, right? So we have to overcome that. We got to overcome the flesh by becoming more spiritual, right? Staying in these scriptures, praying, getting ourselves together, and continuously rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord, right? Because then that becomes like second nature. You understand? Now, give me Ephesians. We're going to end it off here. Give me Ephesians chapter 6. All right? Give me 10 and 11, our famous scripture.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
And in the power of his might. That's where you're going to be strong at, through the faith of Christ. You understand? The faith of Christ and keeping those commandments. Come on.
Put on the whole armor of God.
Put on the whole armor of God. Come on.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That fear, that uncertainty, that doubt, that's a wile of the devil, meaning a trick, right, of the devil for you to do what? Not keep the commandments, what? And fall down in sin, all right? And we're going to end it right there. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. Most High in Christ bless y'all. Tune into IUIC Sacramento on Monday night at 8:30 Pacific time to the Nehemiah Squad radio show, all right? Y'all tune in, subscribe, like, and share, all right? And with that, Most High in Christ bless y'all. Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation